Welcome back everyone to A Gentleman's Life. Today I'm doing a video on essentially my thoughts on the Tudor Pelagos after having it for 6 months. So I bought the Tudor Pelagos actually about 7.5 months ago. You can see here I got the Tudor Pelagos, and I bought it secondhand. It had been pre-owned for about 5 or 6 months before I purchased it. And I wore it for a couple months, and then I had noticed a speck on the dial between the 11 and 12 o'clock hour markers. So I brought it in to the closest Rolex dealer to me, and they sent it in, and the Rolex Service Center took care of that under warranty. And I got it back, no speck on the dial, everything working perfectly. Also, the Rolex Service Center rebrushed the bracelet and clasp. There's a couple desk diving marks gone when the watch came back. So that was my experience with the Rolex Service Center. Obviously, you never want to have to deal with it, but they took care of the one issue I had under warranty. No charge to me for mailing or anything. Everything taken care of. So, although I've now had the watch for 7 months, a month of that was not in my possession. It was at the Rolex Service Center. So, that's why I'm now doing my 6-month video at this point, really. What are my thoughts, really? I think the design of the Pelagos is everything I could want in a tool-like dive watch. I love the titanium, actually. The different kind of hue or color of the titanium compared to the stainless steel really appeals to me. I love the simplicity of the design. Everything is really seems purpose-built. The markers are large, thick, easy to read. The lume is insane. I have nothing I've ever seen with better lume. And I mean, just nothing at all. And I've had watches, everything from poor lume to pretty good lume, but this takes the cake easily. Really simple, just time and date. The bezel is great. This matte ceramic material is fantastic. The lume on the bezel is great. And actually, it's the best lume I've ever seen on a ceramic bezel as well. So that's my general thoughts on the watch itself. The ETA movement inside, the ETA 2824, it is the top grade. And on top of that, Tudor's kind of decorated themselves, and from what I can tell, made a few adjustments. I'm not an expert on what Tudor does to their ETA movements, but from my research, it seems like they've done some small modifications. What I will say is it's been extremely reliable and robust, and I would expect it to stay that way. So I've been very happy with it. This is a lot to pay for an 2824 watch. There's no denying that. It's probably the most I could ever do. And I wouldn't have done it new. I mean, pre-owned was the only way I was going to go if I'm spending this kind of money on a watch. But I've been extremely pleased with it. And so no complaints there, really. The bracelet, actually, I was wondering how the titanium would feel. But I really like the bracelet. I actually prefer the feel of titanium in the bracelet compared to stainless steel. I find it feels better on the wrist, especially when your wrist expands and if you get sweaty, things like that. I think the titanium actually feels better. Granted, I do think the Omega Seamaster Bond bracelet is a more comfortable bracelet overall, but I do prefer the titanium material of the Pelagos bracelet. So those are by far my favorite two bracelets I've ever had. The titanium bracelet on the Pelagos and the stainless steel Bond bracelet for the Omega Seamaster. So they are right up there with each other on quality for me and comfort. The clasp design is really nice. I like that you can adjust it really easily. Let me pull the bracelet out of the bag here. I don't have it on there right now. The clasp design, as many of you already know, I believe, is really great. I like how you can just, when you need to adjust the watch, your wrist changes size. You're either on this setting where it auto adjusts to the size of your wrist, or for me, I usually on the middle of the first three, the middle of the preset settings, and then if my wrist expands, I go to the larger of the preset settings. for how I have it adjusted. But just the ease of changing that for me is really, really nifty and helpful. So I really like that. Really good quality, and yeah, this bracelet's fantastic. And then there's also the rubber strap, which I actually really like that they give you that. I wish Rolex would provide like a rubber strap or a NATO strap with, you know, the Submarine or something like that. It's good quality rubber. I don't find rubber generally that comfortable overall. I don't wear it on that very much. Usually I have it on the bracelet, or if I'm doing work, I put it on the NATO. But I like having this, and I do use this like for vacation, that sort of thing. And I love they give you a crown titanium buckle to go along with it. So really, really nice, really good quality rubber strap that fits in with the lugs from the bracelet. You can see here where it goes into the lugs. So I've been really happy with that. I've used that on all three. I wear it most of the time either bracelet or NATO, but I put on the rubber every now and then. And then for me, for work and stuff, I really like having it on a NATO. I think it works well. I mean, obviously it's a different quality than the bracelet, but for just everyday work-related stuff, I think this works really well for me since I'm not in a suit or anything. And it makes it easily comfortable. I don't scratch up the bracelet at my desk, and it's just more comfortable for work, especially like in the military uniform. So overall thoughts after 6 months. I think the biggest thing for me is that the Tudor Pelagos is the watch that has made me feel like I don't need as many watches. I could see myself wearing or having just a couple watches when you consider the Tudor. You know, one sports watch and one dress watch. Now, I'm choosing to have more than that, but, you know, I used to have more than 20, almost 30 watches. And with the Pelagos, I feel like I could cut down to, you know, less than 10 watches and be completely satisfied. And this is the watch that actually got me selling a lot of watches, because the more I've worn it, the less I've worn everything else. It is by far now the watch I wear the most, the watch I most often reach and want to put on my wrist, and to me that's a sign of you've really found the type of watch that is right for you. I don't know a better way to put it really than I've been willing to cut my book collection by, you know, half or more because of the Tudor Pelagos. It is everything I could have wanted to watch, and surprisingly enough, I didn't expect it to happen, but I've decided to simplify and thin out my collection because I just like this watch that much that it seems unnecessary to have so many others. And I guess that's really the gist of my experience after 6 months with the Tudor. Is it's been everything I could have ever asked for in the first Grail purchase I've made, and I see myself wearing it for a very long time and not needing, or I won't say not wanting, but not needing to keep looking for more and more purchases, and being more selective in what I want to add after this, because of how much I like this watch and how good I think it is. So that pretty much covers it. And to stop myself from rambling any farther, if you've been thinking about the Tudor and you've wondered about the titanium or the size or the weight or anything like that, or the quality, you don't need to wonder or worry about any of those things. When it comes to tool dive watches, this is an excellent example, and I've been extremely pleased. And this first 6 months is only the beginning of my time with this watch, and it will spend many, many years on my wrist, I do not doubt. And it has kind of changed how I think about my watches now, because it kind of adjusted the level of what I expect and changed my thought process even about how I want to collect because of how good it is. So, thanks for watching, and until next time.